neighbors. I'm back. So we got.
Well, Russ and Brandy, the
You
one
gotta
obvious
hear
sign
this.
this morning.
They said this on the rush or what?
65 by the
They send the kids back to school at that place there. You got to see this though. Let's know what they say.
Thank you. We do have some new information regarding that crash that is still with us on the southbound lanes of the
they're
North
talking about the
Freeway
crash, but
at
check it out.
Shepherd.
They said they want to apologize for scaring their neighbors with the explosion at that plant. That's what they're saying. Welcome back in. I had to get it set up and tethered. He put first. First. You go, boy. Yeah.
That is enough to have you take right to the road. Feeder is also looking.
Horsefly just for that. I'm not even going to touch the fly swat. We're going to let you fly
Okay,
around.
Steph, thank you. Let's get back to our big story now. That
Listen.
deadly explosion that rocked a Crosby chemical plant.
Chemco is apologizing for scaring its neighbors, and our Janelle Ford is live near the plant this morning. Janelle, any updates for us?
Well, Russ and Brandy, the one obvious sign this morning are these road barriers.
They want to apologize for
blocking off
scaring the neighbors.
streets that lead to the plant here. As this investigation kicks off into full gear, we're working to learn this morning when these streets will open back up. Right now, we know that there are 26 agencies working the site to figure out what went wrong here. We're told Crosby Park,
Quality
Crosby
is low.
Community Center, and Crosby
No
Sports
worries.
Complex will all remain closed for the time
Can't
being.
help it.
Authorities put the last bit of flames out around 4:20 yesterday afternoon, but well into the night, fire crews could be seen spraying water on the
It's because I'm
plant.
tethering
Now,
this
so far,
device.
we've learned the fire started
Yeah,
just
quality's
before
low.
11 yesterday
Quality's low on
morning,
these
and a
cigars
transfer
too,
line
man. This is
then
what I
quickly
got.
spread
That's
to
the
a
best I
nearby
can do.
tank and warehouse.
Quality's low.
One person died. 2 others are fighting for their lives this morning. Last night, Attorney General Ken Paxton filed a petition against Chemco for violations of
What's
the Texas
144?
Clean Air Act. We're working to learn what consequences the company could face. The Harris County Fire Marshal's Office also issued a subpoena to get the information for this fire, and they're going to use it in their investigation. We'll continue to update you guys throughout the morning, sending it back to you guys in the studio.
So what's the video? This is KHU. Hold on. It's an update.
Officials say this fire started with isobutylene. It's used in everything from the production of
It's new
high-octane aviation
today,
fuel
3 hours ago.
to antioxidants. It's highly flammable and potentially explosive. Inhaling even a moderate amount can cause you to be dizzy, drowsy, and even lose consciousness. Contact with the skin may cause irritation. In liquid form, this can actually cause frostbite. The other chemicals that burned are ethanol. It can act on your nervous system. You know it as the primary ingredient in alcoholic drinks. And finally, ethyl acrylate. It is possibly cancer-causing. It also has a strong odor, meaning that you would smell it before you suffered any serious health risks. And we're sticking with this story. Coming up in 6 minutes, we'll connect the dots on the petrochemical industry around Houston. At 6:15, we'll verify some of the claims that maybe you're seeing online. And you can get all of our coverage anytime by going to our website.
That company has got multiple violations already against them. And they were just about to have to go to court for a leak that they said was malicious or whatever you call it, like they did it on purpose because it was cheaper to have a leak than it was to maybe fix a tank or something like that. Something crazy. I'm gonna turn this down a bit. Wait. Oh, that's about the border. We'll get to this in a second. So basically, they were just about to have to go to court, but now that's been put off for about 2 months, probably because of the spill. But so EPA was already on their back, and those tanks were old, and those tanks had problems, and so the workers coming out told about stuff except that last chemical. They didn't even talk about that. I'm going to add that to my list. I'll put a link up this video, but they had the kids go back to school there today, which is kind of crazy. This is the crazier part. They have a ditch that runs outside of that chemical plant that goes across the street from houses. It's just a side of the road ditch, but they call that part of their emergency. If something happens, they're gonna run crap in that ditch, right? They put those deadly chemicals out of the plant, run overflow and all the everything, firefighting, water, everything straight down into that ditch. No concrete ditch, it's a dirt and grass ditch. it went all the way down the end of the road, and there's police cars blocking the end of the road, but then the stream to it, they can get down to it, and they had reporters talking about, yeah, it stinks real bad, right? Yeah, you're breathing in the chemicals. So the only person that's smart down there is that one kid with the gas mask. But thought I would bring that up is there's an open ditch that all the chemicals went into, and it's across from, I'm pretty sure those are houses, but they got part of the thing blocked off. This is the forest ranger that the helicopter crashed and he passed away, and they were doing an escort. They messed up, and the live that's supposed to be the live update on the fire, it's named live update on the fire, but they made it a live of the funeral procession for that forestry worker that died in that helicopter crash. So yeah, as far as that chemical plant, they were fixing to go to court and lose because they lost on some other stuff, and it was the city or the county that was suing them for leaks and for all kinds of violations of codes and all kinds of stuff. So, and they had old tanks. I mean, the tanks at the top kind of look rusty, but it's the inside of them that get eaten up. Like I said, acid eats the inside of anything it's in. They get eaten up and degraded, and so the metal at this point, it wasn't steel, it's like a bunch of rust holding hands. If you think about it, it was like, it's weaker. It's an older plant, older tanks. They had issues. They're going to get in trouble for having locks on the gates where they had to cut themselves out. They didn't have a rally point. Part of what they're being sued for was also that they had no emergency plan, or a bad emergency plan. They didn't have, I guess, probably rally points, and they didn't have, a way to get out. And they were already getting in trouble for that. And evidently, they still left locks on the gates. So it's not acceptable. People were running, and then they had to crawl under the gates. And then one crew that was in the fabrication yard, the guy that looked like he was Latino, he cut the lock, and everybody, got out through the gate after that. So, yeah, not safe and not smart. And none of them had gas masks on. They asked him, did he have any PPE? He said, nope, just safety glasses. They need to have gas masks for everybody in the town, and tell them to evacuate. Quit being scared to evacuate people. So, anyways, right now they're showing us football stuff, and it's been they've been in some mess, and there's a lot going on Twitter too. I'll check it in a bit.
The problem with other leaks has been that there's just not enough money to go around, and then this one is just really, really cruel. Taiwan Jones tweeted this. He says right around the time
the league is canceled. That's talking about the football league was canceled. Just not into that, but I'll put a link on this. I wanted to see what they're saying on Twitter about it too, because a lot of times you find out more on Twitter than you do anywhere. So I'm gonna stop this for a second. I'm gonna check out and see if anybody tweeted about this fire. A lot of people are saying that their people work there. I don't know who the one that passed away was, and there's another one missing, and there was 2 that were life flighted out of there, I believe, on a helicopter. So let's see if I can't get, that's KHO 11, by the way. KHOU 11. There's a KHOU 13 that evidently uses their same reporters. Kind of crazy. They're called an NBC affiliate or something, or ABC affiliate, the Peacock, whichever one that is. I think it's ABC. Maybe I should check them real quick too and see if they have a better live. Wait. Let's see. It's like Houston 13. So, and there was a fireworks building caught on fire somewhere too, but let's see. The 60 videos. Okay. This is one that talked about what was going on at that plant and where they got busted for all that stuff. The other one was where the doctor was talking and telling all kinds of good stuff.
So they can try to remove the president from office.
Okay, whatever. Let's see.
This is a company that has a long history with environmental
environmental regulators, and in fact with Harris County, our government here in Harris County has a lawsuit against the company that was supposed to go to trial in March, now expected to go to trial in June. All of that from some things that we'll get into in just a sec. They had a similar lawsuit in 2009. Harris County won against them. They have OSHA violations and EPA violations. This trial that's supposed to happen in June alleges 3 sort of nuisance leaks that broke air and water laws. They want the company to stop.
Right now, there's a whole ditch and a whole road they don't want to show.
Here are some of the OSHA violations. 15 OSHA violations in a 2010 inspection. They pay a $65,000 fine for violating process safety. That's the way you handle chemicals at a plant like this, and for having violations in their emergency response plans. We heard a potential problem with that again today when workers had to cut their own way out of this plant. In 2011, a year later, 39 violations, most of them listed as serious violations. They paid just $133,000 in federal fines for violating hazard communications rules, again with their emergency plans, and several safety violations for handling highly hazardous chemicals, in the words of OSHA. EPA says this company has been out of compliance with clean air and water laws 9 of the last 12 quarters.
9 out of 12
In
quarters.
other words, they break the year up into 4 quarters, and in 9 of the last 12, that's the majority of the last 3 years, they have been out of compliance. And here's the big one.
Okay.
In 2016, their parent company pleaded guilty and paid a $3.5 million fine to the federal government for a knowing violation of the Clean Air Act and negligent releases of air pollutants, some of that having to do with the Crosby facility, other of that fine having to do with a facility this company owns in Port Arthur. The point being, this is a company with a long history with federal and state regulators.
Oh, I don't want to hear about that.
Tired of seeing me cry.
Okay, so, all right. So, so I'm getting messed with here. I'm gonna make this comment here real quick. Icon, the Icon 2020 driver. I need your name, rank, and truck number. Or see, I almost said it the proper way. You know, it's supposed to be name, rank, and serial number. He knows what he's doing. I need your name, rank, and truck number, or else I'm putting you out of service. All right. So, my name is Specialist. My rank is Sergeant First Class, and my serial number is not classified. So if you need to look it up, anything that's not classified, you're welcome to it. Anything else would just be a really good read. I'm going to go further. Peace. So, sir, yes, sir. Reporting is ordered, sir. All right, so here we go. JD, we hardly talk about it, but too many chemical plants. I know most are in Texas too, but still all are in Texas. Yet Texas has got a new summer, like I said, a new summer, or actually you call it spring clothing line there. Let's see. JD put my John Deere lawnmower number is number. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, so it's supposed to be name, rank, and serial number, but you can also go with your, hey, if they issue you a weapon. So, let's see. See, I was thinking you were going to say Rusty Shackelford. No, I'm not. No, I got my own. I got my own rank. Yeah, I got. There's a number for everybody's got a number. Yeah, so everybody's got a weapon, whether they realize it or not. They're just holding it for you in case something pops off. Oh yeah. Even the peaceniks. You can be a conscientious objector, but not today. That's how that's going to work. So, for all those people who are anti-guns or whatever, you already have one. You just don't know it yet. How about that one? That's some truth for you. Let me see what I can't do here about finding another chemical plant fire thing. This is where the doctor answered questions, and then OMG trial. Somewhere they had that guy. Oh, and there was a woman riding on the hood of her car going down the road. I mean, this is just kind of lame.
The scene on the North Freeway that so many people are talking about. This, the woman clinging to the hood of a car as it goes down the North Freeway. We're still trying to figure out why she did it. Let's go live to ABC 13 reporter Charlie.
If you got to take an Uber,
the latest on this, Charlie.
Well, this crazy and very dangerous act was captured down this patch of road right here off the North Freeway near Airline Drive. Now, I want to show you that video one more time. It's pretty crazy.
Fast
Watch
and
this.
furious.
And so a driver actually captured on cell phone camera a woman sitting on the hood of a car as it speeds down the North Freeway. According to the person who took this video, it was captured sometime on Saturday. And so when we saw it, we reached out to HPD about this video, and they tell me that they
She
have
said,
seen it.
not
and
without
the
me,
department
you're
has
not.
deferred to Eyewitness
That's
News that their
recording.
traffic enforcement
maybe.
division is looking into this video, and they are now trying to track down
Looks
the
like Snooki
license
on the
plate
car.
number on that car, as
I
well
mean,
as
you
the
never
person
know.
who was sitting on the hood. Now, earlier this morning, a woman claiming to be the person who was sitting on the hood of that car, she actually reached out to Eyewitness News, and we did attempt to ask this woman why in the world she was sitting on the hood of that car in the first place, but she declined to share her side of the story. But nonetheless, this video getting a lot of people to react because of what was captured here on the freeway. And so the message now to the public from HPD is that if you saw this car driving down the road, you happen to know the make, the model, especially the license plate number, you are asked to reach out to HPD with that information, because that's very helpful to their investigation that is now ongoing.
Yeah. So, yeah, so that's kind of half crazy. She's like on the car. Don't know what to say about that, but I saw that earlier. So much every day like that. I don't see that going down the road even. That's half past crazy. There was something though that I was looking for. Let's see. It was where they showed that kid with the gas mask, and if I can find that. Well, a DoorDash driver sips a milkshake before he hands the milkshake to a kid, and that kind of freaks some people out. He brought food to the house with a milkshake, and the outside Ring doorbell thing caught him drinking a milkshake. Let's see if I can find this thing here. ITC could be taken to court. This is a good one. That it's short, but it's good. Well, is it going to work? Yeah.
Officials, get a monitor closer now.
Impassioned, strong-willed.
This is very serious. People don't know if they can wash their children off.
ITC fire fallout hits the agenda at Commissioner's Court for the first time, and the people caught in the middle are fed up.
And the benzene levels at the site is insane.
The fire is no longer burning, but questions are looming, residents desperate.
We want answers for what do we do right now? Who can we trust?
What exactly was in each container? I want to know exactly what was in there. I don't want to hear anything that is trademarked. I don't want to know that anything is patented that we can't figure out.
Judge Hidalgo reassured residents that the air quality is still being monitored in the areas near the site, but neighbors want a little more.
We need everybody to work together without borders, so like no jurisdiction, because air has no borders.
Yeah, Judge Hidalgo and the rest of those on Commissioner's Court stayed focused today a lot on reassuring residents that the air quality is being monitored. They spoke about it for many hours in many different ways,
and also don't worry about your health
exactly they're going
and
to
your
seek
defects
in that lawsuit. We're going
and your problems. Don't worry about your kids bleeding from your nose. Just know that we're monitoring the situation. We're keeping the levels down, and all that stuff. So, so anyways, yeah, they're saying that some of that stuff, trying to say it's trademarked and they can't tell you what's in it, but then you can't tell the doctor that that's what you're affected by. And so, I mean, some of it you can, because you know that you were affected by that, but you can't tell about the other stuff. So what's the treatment? You don't know. Neither does the doctor, you know. But, got to relight my cigar. Let me see what we got here on comments, though. I know I missed some here. Let's see. And let's see. Snooki's a news reporter now. Yeah, she got a big old head. Okay. I guess. Okay. Man, I see so much every day like this. You're 3 #1 fans. Tell us you love us now. I'll tell you, I hate you all, but thank you for coming. No, I'm kidding. You know you're all right. Let's see. JD Hee Hee and JD Man That Smoke So Black. Yeah. You know, they, like I said, they have no plan in place for evacuation, which is crazy. scary, not even for their own people at their own plant. You know, it's like they're running, they leave or whatever, but they don't go a mile away. They just hang out front and talk to reporters, and then everybody gets, you know, any little whiff of that stuff and knocks them out. JD put on Wednesday morning, there are 26 different agencies on site trying to figure out what went wrong. Okay, wow. Well, I know the EPA was already going to come back and see them. They were already being sued by them. Now they're coming back again, and then it's not just the EPA, it's OSHA. I mean, how can you, the OSHA is for people to have a safe place to work. How can you say it's a safe place to work when you got gates locked and they got no way out and they're running? The fire marshal's office has interviewed 50 people about the incident. They are in the site now, but not yet able to enter the fire zone. Is it still lit up, like on fire, or is it just the gas that's leaking? Because I know it's going to a ditch outside the plant, like way outside the plant. That's what I needed to find, was that ditch. I wanted to show that, and then I'm gonna get going. Had enough time to show a break. Let's see what we got here. I'll look for the history here. Let's see. At least 3 chemicals burned in this fire. Tuesday evening, Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton filed a petition against KMCO for violations of the Texas Clean Air Act. Yeah, don't mess with Texas. Don't mess with Texas. Yeah, that's why I put this up, is because I care about the people of Texas, man. I like them. I mean, it's a good place. They gotta straighten things up. They gotta get it worked out. And instead of making it all this internal mess and them being sued and this and that, they need to, you know, they need to make it safer for the people. I think that might be the one that I watched. This one, that's KHOU 11. Harris County Fire Marshal's Office issued a subpoena to the plant as part of their investigation. Oh yeah, it's like, here you go, buddy, don't go away, you're going to court. Yep, I think this might have been the one. Let's see, top headlines. That was a week ago, that's a month ago. Let's see, no, this is just KHOU Houston. I'm looking at they are attacking them hand over fist. Yeah, don't let up either, because they're going to go bankrupt and leave, just like the other one's probably going to, but they lied and said they're not going to. We'll see what happens with that. They're not going to make me believe they're going to be able to even stay in business. There's just no way. That's KHOU 11. Let's see what we got here. Let's see. At Deer Park facility. Maybe this one. And that's the ABC 13. Maybe it's this one. I'm looking up this one video. There's one I want to show with it. Where am I heading? I'm going to a secret undisclosed location, far and away. Hang on a second here. I'm looking for where this. There's a part of this video that shows like a ditch and water and stuff. Man, I can't find this. The occupant White House, Area 51. Y'all are nuts. No, not Area 51, but there is an Area 53. Did y'all know that? There's more than just Area 51 is old school. I'm just saying. They put all the other cool stuff at other places. So it's like how WD-40 is water dispersant 40. There was 39 other tries before 40, but they actually have a 41 and a 42 and a 43 people don't know about. It's even better. Navy invented other stuff. They just don't want you to have the new stuff. They got better than WD-40. It's like WD-43 and WD-45. I'm looking for this here though. There's a place where it shows it going in the ditch. This is hard to do here. You can go to 53. Yeah. Yeah, if they need something moved somewhere, you can go where they tell you to go. Depending. Let's see, that's just them talking. Temporary closing of a complex. I'm trying to find where they were running that stuff right into a ditch. It's part of that. If they're gonna make that part of that plant, they really need to have a concrete line ditch. And they should have to pay for it. But they won't even keep their people locked in there too. Wait, that's the dump truck at the ditch. Let's see.
Point. We can't go past where the sheriff's deputy is. You can see the smoke right there. We can actually smell it in the air. Sort
yeah,
of
okay.
Acrid.
This kind of shows it. Look what we got here. I see that they turned the 18-wheeler trailer over though.
The chemicals, they are evaporating into the air, and when you add the additional heat, they evaporate at a higher temperature. You've got a higher dosage.
Oh, this is what I wanted to say. This
speaking to just how.
Look, this is where the truth comes out. Battery's low. No worries. I'll plug it up with this one.
It takes for them to tell you as a journalist, like for that information to flow your way. Oh. That's what I'm sorry, I was asking.
The doctor's going to tell what I was saying about how chemicals are not burnt and changed. They're brought up with the heat, and then they.
I think it depends on the situation, right?
Watch what I'm talking about.
Whether it's still actively flaring or whether it is right now looks to be somewhat under control. Also, I think it depends on the law enforcement agencies involved. So I can't really give you a guess as to when we're going to know those answers.
All right, Tom, thank you. We wanted to show you this sky-eye view of the Crosby plant there. Once again, we know one person has died. 2 were airlifted to the hospital right after this fire exploded. I want to go back to that news conference. We want to break out some of the headlines there. Right now, we know we heard from Sheriff Gonzalez. We also heard from the Fire Marshal and County Judge Lena Hidalgo. She's saying right now air quality, when it comes to the air quality, the EPA right now monitoring the air quality.
They just say monitoring, it's garbage.
Shortly, of course, we are waiting for that. Another quote from the news conference there, she says, we will continue watching. She says, I know it is disturbing, especially on the heels of the ITC fire. We will work with our partners to put this out as quickly and...
Yeah, that's... Okay, listen, check this out. They have this one reporter that's on the scene, and she says on a different part of this video earlier, I believe it's earlier in this video, she says there's an 18-wheeler trailer that's flipped over on its side, but it's supposed to be that way. She says it's to stop chemical from going further and to catch it or something. And then at the end of that ditch, she shows all the chemical run down the ditch, and then the officers won't let her past a certain part. But she's right there next to the ditch with the chemicals in it. It's really kind of stupid because she's sitting there breathing in, she says how it stinks. So they need gas masks. These people need to be trained. These reporters need to be trained to stay back because, you know, turn this down. It used to be that firefighters used to pass away from running up on a wreck and trying to put the fire out with any kind of hazardous load, okay? And so that was bad. Now, these reporters are doing this mess, and they're going to wind up with cancer later from it, and it's that serious, and it is that true, and yet they're doing it anyway. They need to educate them. They need to tell them, you know, hey, look, make sure you're, you know, shaved so that this mask will fit over your face, and then make sure that you wear it, you know. So, and those women reporters don't need to have short sleeve shirts and skin showing and all. It needs to be every square inch of your skin needs to be covered with chemical wear. I mean, like I said, full hazmat suit, and nowhere near it. That's within a mile. Really, they need to be 4 to 5 miles away, taking a video from that far away and telling people it's that dangerous, we can't get that near it. That's what needs to happen. And they need to be evacuating instead of some shelter-in-place mess, you know. And then even the residue that's in houses near there needs to be, cleaned, and they need to figure out if there's any way to test carpets and that kind of stuff, or some houses may need to be demolished, depending on how much chemical got into a house. And it pools in low areas, so it could be full on in your basement. Everything's given the all clear, you go into your basement and you die. You see what I'm saying? This is some seriously deadly stuff. So in a second, I guess somehow I can't get to it yet, there's supposed to be this reporter showing that ditch line.
It's kind of in a standby mode right now as firefighters do work with some foam over here in this portion.
This was yesterday on the fire working
black
part.
Smoke there. This is coming from the general area from where this fire started. I see those the tanks right there, just not far away, right?
Let's see, maybe it's here.
I think they said that.
Okay.
We also want to talk about this is.
It was after the doctor talked. Here we go.
Bobcats and other sort of heavy equipment, dirt movers coming through a little while ago with some workers. So as well as tanker trucks coming in, bringing foam, as well as Sheriff's Department and the Harris County Fire Marshals. So we've seen a lot of those folks come in and out. But, we're not too far from Crosby proper. This is a small community. So when the explosion happened earlier today, everybody in the neighborhood felt it. They heard it. Some people thought maybe a car ran into their homes. Other people were really uncertain what's going on. We talked to one woman who has been sending us some video, keeping things updated for all of her friends and neighbors, and here's what she has to say about that moment. All right, we actually don't have that sound right now, but I do want to bring you back up here.
Anyways, the other side of the road, that was that ditch.
Did not evacuate.
I'm gonna go back.
Did not shelter in place. He's literally out here taking some videos, taking things in. He's almost directly across from the plant. We have seen emergency vehicles come through this area for about an hour now, but I should say that the town proper, which is only about a mile and a half from where we are, the streets are open. People are going about their days as normal. The stores are open. The gas station pumps are on. People are coming and going, and everybody's talking about the situation. This is certainly top of mind. They're looking in the air to see how bad the smoke is, but they're used to living around here. We talked to one lady who says around Thanksgiving, the plant used to literally hand out turkeys and hams to the neighborhood to say, hey, thank you for living and supporting us, being around this community. So they are used to Chemco being sort of literally in a fabric of the neighborhood, although they have never seen an explosion and a fire like this in the last 2 decades or so. Although, as we have been telling you throughout the day, this company, like many chemical companies, certainly have had violations in the past documented by state and federal authorities. But like all those other chemical companies and plants throughout the greater Houston region, they are allowed to operate, doing so right now. And today, just a terrible situation where we have that one fatality, several injuries, and the true extent of what has happened at Chemco, not yet known, because obviously we are still being kept pretty far away from that. So that's the latest from right here.
Not really, because the ditch is over here.
Maya, thank you.
I'm going back to
talked
something.
about the goodwill being extended via the...
They showed a better view of it earlier.
As far as comparison is concerned, it is kind of like the beginning of that at IT.
Man, so I'll be getting off this thing in a second. I mean, look, they're just dumping it in a ditch. We're somewhere in this area.
People living as far as 20.
The blockades here at Highway 90. We've not been able to confirm that there are any mandatory evacuations, but if you take a look down the street, you see there's a church sign right there. We understand that there is a daycare or some church school down the street. The only people being allowed back here are those who have children that they're picking up from that daycare or school. We also spoke with people who live back in this neighborhood. One gentleman who I think you actually heard from earlier Gerard Thibodeau told us that there's a piece of fiberglass in his backyard, which is just a corner away, which flew from the plant, he claims, when the explosion happened. And here's Harris County Hazmat Response pulling up to this intersection right now. We know that there is a command center across Highway 90 at the Crosby Volunteer Fire Department, but very slowly we're beginning to get some information as to what transpired in the moments before and after. And can you imagine, despite how long you might have worked in this industry, when you get the word to evacuate, and then there's an explosion and you have to crawl under gates and fences to get out? I can only imagine how horrifying that might have been for those people.
Yeah, and not just the order to evacuate, but run as fast as you can, get out of here. We weren't able to hear everything there, Tom. I have to apologize for that. But did he indicate whether or not the workers that we know were injured and that one that was unaccounted for, were they also working with these guys?
Let me see what else we got here. So, yeah, I can't find what I was looking for. So, anyways, what I was going to say is, they had, man, is this thing going to die now? Now I got to plug this one up. Isn't that crazy? I'm playing whack-a-mole with the power cord. So, basically, it was going down a ditch down the side of that road. I'll get a link to the one where the guy had the gas mask. I'll put it up on here and you can see it. And then they're not really wanting to talk about that so much. They just want to show it one time. But that lady walked right up to the ditch and it was all black, nasty stuff. So they call that part of a spillway, but it's right across the street from where houses are, which is crazy. And there's cop cars down there that are really too close to it, but they're parked to block off stuff, sort of. They're blocking off the grass. And there's a trailer that goes to an 18-wheeler that flips over on its side somehow, and they are able to pump chemicals into it or something. So, kind of weird.
The exposure is longer than 24 hours. You have a short-term or an acute exposure.
If they'll show this view, I think that's that 18-wheeler trailer they put in there. But
low levels of 17, 24 hours a day. What's your...
It's just hard to find.
Traffic, because at this point, Catherine, are we being told that several of the roads around here are being closed down?
Let me see what else is going on. Several roads closed down from yesterday.
The big corridor here that a lot of people use to get to work in this area is right here off of Old Highway 90, which is in fact shut down in both directions. That happened very quickly after this first incident happened. So if you normally take that route, we do have a couple of alternates for you. Of course, you'll want to stay away from this area if you possibly can. But for those of you who do need to travel in the vicinity, your alternate routes are to use 146.
I'm going to check something real quick. Like I said, I was going to check Twitter, and I've got to get that going, and then let's see, browser, check what they're saying in there. Well, you just got the space shuttle fixed. I want you to know. Okay. Let's see here. I've got the slowest service in this area right now. That's causing me a little bit of an issue. So, I'm just trying to check out Twitter real quick, and that's one of the things that's going to slow things down. And then I'll get going, but yeah, it's a whole new chemical they didn't tell us about. And they had all those things going on where the EPA and all them were already all over them about stuff. It's amazing they were even running. Damn freight checker, yeah. Maybe that's part of the problem with my signal, freight checker. Because look, it's not giving me what I'm trying to get to. for right this second. Maybe what I need to do is kill out the YouTube side. But that KHOU 13 seems to be good on this fire. The KHOU 11 was good on the other one. But that lady showed all that stuff running down into the ditch. I'll put a link to that video later, and I will show exactly I'll put start watching it like 00 whatever the time was, or 1 minute and whatever, for where the ditch was, and then the other guy that was wearing the mask, because he was smart, and when the reporter asked him questions, he just answered it still wearing the mask. You know, he's smart. Let's see, Twitter. There we go. See what they're saying on here. See what the smart people are saying, then I'll get going. And there was something on that other fire that I was going to talk about the cleanup. But on this one, they used a dump truckload of sand or dirt at the other end of that ditch to try to stop it. Even though it already went all the way to the end, they were trying to block it up. They need to make that ditch out of concrete so there's not stuff going into the water, through the ground, into the groundwater. But it came running off that whole plant. So there's a whole road that comes off that plant, a side road. Twitter is far from smart sometimes, LOL. Yeah, I'm just trying to get there, period. I don't know that it'll be, look, it's still giving me the bird. So Twitter's giving me the bird right now. I may not be able to get anything, so no worries. I think if I kill that out, I could barely get on here. I had to start this other stream, you know. I was just thinking positive when I named it Reconnected. I didn't know I was going to be able to. Kill all these apps going on here. App killer helps. And we were going to shut down our southern border, but they said now Mexico's wanting to stop things, so maybe we won't. But if we do, I think we'll just have a problem with some guacamole and some other stuff, and then people will have to start building stuff in America instead of shipping it up from Mexico. So that's how that'll go. Let's see, browser. Let's see, we're not hearing it again right now. Connection sucks, socket. Yeah, I'm doing what I can, man. Oh, there we go. I killed a bunch of apps, and then this thing started crawling a little bit better. It's giving me the bird still, but maybe it'll show up here. And then I can hit on search, see what people put. I don't know, might go to the end and stop. Looks like it's doing something. Good bird. Yeah, that's all I got. Okay, hey, we're talking now. It's on here now. It's going anyway. It's still swirling vortex, but it's getting something. I'll go ahead and hit search and let it go in that. They know what's going on Twitter. It just matters when they want to tell her and when they want to write their book, and when they quit getting paid. They quit getting paid. They put it on Twitter, get mad about it, and write a book. Not that I care about half the super secret stuff they want to talk about. I'm not interested in that. I'm just interested in day-to-day what's going on, you know? So when they see news that's on a different channel and they can talk about something they reported on, and you'll never see it if you don't look that up, that's handy. Kind of like what I'm doing here. Other than today, I hope I'm doing a good job. Like I said, I didn't have it ready, but I was super singled out. I was having a blowout. And the guy was finishing up. I was trying to get service from the get-go, from when I first started with that tire thing. New Mexico officially replaces Columbus Day with Indigenous Peoples Day. I don't see nothing wrong with that. Columbus didn't find the country anyhow, did he? America's Vespucci, and then before him the Vikings, so whatever. Let's see. Okay. This is genius. Go back some bunch of leftovers. Let's see. Oh Lord. Nobody wants to hear from her. Let's see. Let's see here. This is crazy. What? With malware. Wow. Okay, the Miami Herald has breaking news. A counterintelligence probe of Chinese activity focuses on Mar-a-Lago massage parlor entrepreneur Cindy Yang and the woman who authorities say tried to enter the club with malware. And then it says on that, feds are investigating possible Chinese spying at Mar-a-Lago. The Chinese were setting up spying at a massage parlor. How about that, right? They spy everywhere. I've always said anybody from another country should be circumspect or a suspect of doing that kind of mess, because I've seen some people that's like, those countries don't just let them leave unless there's a reason for them to be over here in the first place. A lot of them. I don't trust them. So, doesn't mean I don't like them. It means I don't trust them. There's a difference. Let's see. Let's see. There's news here, and I'm scrolling through to see what's worthy of even talking about. Okay then. Let's see. I want abortion to become unthinkable. Oh yeah, everybody's talking about this movie called Unplanned, like an unplanned pregnancy. Unplanned. This woman gets a job at an abortion clinic, and then she realizes what they really do there, and then she has to be in a room where something actually goes down with them killing a baby, and it's like struggling for its life. Let me tell you, that's some real deep stuff. You want to watch something, even the trailers of this movie. So, Crux, C-R-U-X, put up, I want abortion to become unthinkable. I want everyone who sees the film to see how God's love and mercy can change their lives. And I want people to understand that love is the only way we are going to win the war against abortion. And they put that to @Abby Johnson. But the link is inspiration for movie Unplanned helps. So that Unplanned movie is a big deal. Let's see, it is common sense. Only stupid people need to know this, doctor or not. Yeah. Let's see. And somebody put, how can saving a baby be this controversial? It should just be saving a baby. I'm just scrolling down right now. Let's see. Oh, I will say this too. It's going to be kind of a scary kind of a live. I'm going to be honest with you. The stuff that I've seen on there. Let's see. JD put good comment. They get it. Yeah. Let me tell you. Okay. My understanding about when someone dies is that their spirit leaves their body. Everything in the Bible says that their spirit leaves their body, says they're no longer there, their spirit's gone. Okay. There's been some people that were resurrected and came back to the body, but here's the thing. There are people in Australia that there's a cryogenics place that have already, this one woman showed that she was dying of cancer. She did a video with these people. She went into the fact that she knew she was going to die, but she wanted to be cryogenically preserved. So they took everything out of her, liquids out of her self. They videoed that too, believe it or not. and then put her in a tank of cryogenic fluid and froze her slowly to like way cold. Some people are saying that crystallizes and damages the brain and you can't do something with it anyways, but she froze herself after she died to be brought back later, she thinks, and her husband's going to do the same thing. Now I'm going to say this. Even in the Bible it talks about demonic possession. It talks about Jesus taught his followers, his disciples, the 12 disciples, to cast out demons, from people. And he said with this one in particular, they said, we tried to cast out demons, but we can't do it. And he said, oh, ye of little faith. And then when he went to cast them out, he said, what is your name? And they said, we are legion, we are many. In other words, there was a lot of demons in this person. And they said, please don't kill us. We know you can destroy us. Let us go over into that, bunch of pigs over there. And Jesus allowed it because he knew when they went into him that it would drive him crazy because it's an animal anyways. So they went over there into the pigs. They drove themselves crazy and drowned themselves in the sea. So I'm just going to say this. And the Catholic Church has actually got people who they are training more and more, because there's more and more people who need to have a rites of exorcism run on them. Okay, so here's the thing. They have hired more and more people because there's more and more need of people to have an exorcism done to cast out spirits. Having said that, and having said what I've already said, you can open yourself up to demonic possession, I believe. And I believe if once you die, you bring your body back. This is a scary thought, that it may not be you that comes back. And I know there's movies on that and stuff like that, but there's also another thing where they're saying that they're working on currently not freezing people, but using stem cells and putting them into people also, and bringing them back to life when they are living but brain dead, if they're viable and over I think it's over 18 or something like that. And then I'm going to do a video on talking about that, so I'm giving you a preface now for that. Whenever I get my stuff together and all the links together and can show that video where the woman froze herself, and show that video where they're talking about using stem cells and testing them to bring people back from the dead who are actually pronounced brain dead. So if you're interested in that, you can watch it. If you're not, I don't even like scary subjects, to be honest with you, but that's just real stuff that's going on. And then I'm going to put a link to a video and play some of it where there's a guy that's passed away now, but he was a priest, Father Malachi Martin, and he was interviewed on Art Bell's radio program for casting demons out of people. So if you're interested in that, let me know, but I am going to be putting something together on that, all in one video, and I'll have those ready to play when I do. I'll be a lot more organized than I am today. This was kind of slow because they put the other thing out and they're not really talking about much anyways. And I'll put links up to the kid with the mask and the woman in the ditch and the timing of it later. But I'd like to know what you think. Make a comment below about what you think about a scary video, because also in it there's a friend of mine, Rattler, and I got to interview him, and I might even be able to play some of it of a different interview. He was talking about how he went to do rounds at a place where a lot of people had been killed, I guess, in a war, and he said that the place is haunted. And he said he went to make his rounds in the basement. He went down there and he turned around and all these pamphlets that were on the table were on the floor. So he went to pick them up and put them up there, and he made his rounds again and came back, and they were back down on the floor, and he was hearing all kinds of stuff. And he was wondering why these other guys weren't making the rounds like they were supposed to. They were just standing in the post up top. He went up there and they said, you see why we're not making our rounds now? He says, are you done with that? He's, man, I've had enough of down there. He's not going back down there. Some crazy stuff that he's told me is some real stuff. So, man, he's not lying. Some stuff that's happened. He says he's seen a bunch of haunted places. I'm gonna get him to talk to some stuff. That was scary. So between that and this other stuff, I'm gonna put together a video, and I may even be able to get it live. But then I'll get, I guess it'll be another recording of him or him live on a different one and talking about that. And I'll put it in a playlist, spooky stuff, kind of like trucking stuff, spooky stuff. I'll call it that. So yeah, it's weird though. Yeah, so JD put vessels they need, and I'm a minister, and I don't believe that kind of stuff. Weird, I know. Yeah, well, the Catholic Church is training priests on how to do exorcisms on people, and it's my understanding, and I could be wrong, and I'll have 1,000 people beat me up until they see proof of it. However, it was in a news report, and it was talked about that lots of priests have had issues of the spirit and have asked for exorcisms, and they will have someone they'll do a psychological evaluation and all this stuff, see if they're just crazy, but then they will do an exorcism on someone. And the crazy part is, it's my understanding that Mother Teresa asked for an exorcism once because she was not feeling well. She felt like it wasn't a thing but of the spirit, and it's because she was doing all these good things. She felt like she was being attacked by evil spirits. And I saw this on a report, I'll have to find it, but that she had an exorcism done on her, and evidently it helped. So, you know, people are affected by things. I mean, it's one of those things where if you are out on a battlefield, you're going to be fighting a fight. People back home might be reading about it, but they're not in it, but it's real. And it's happening to them, but not to you. So, same way with evil spirits. I believe people are doing so much good, evil spirits can attack them. And just because you're not seeing it because you're not in that fight doesn't mean it's not happening to them. You know, that's where I'm at on it. So, especially when priests are training for it and it's in the Bible, you know, it's real. I could find out the scripture and put the link to that on here about where he cast them out of that guy's body and into the pigs, and that guy was fine, and then the pigs went crazy and drowned themselves in the sea. So, hey, if you believe in the Bible, you should read it because it's in there. But I'm gonna get off this thing. I can't find anything else on here. I will be doing some scary stuff, like I said, spooky stuff. And so if you don't want to watch that one, I don't blame you, because some of it that I heard from that friend of mine for real was scary. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna get off this thing. Y'all stay safe. Get a gas mask, people. Let's see here. Oh, JD put, we can talk more about it though. I'm interested. Well, I'll get you the scripture and verse of where Jesus cast the demons out of that person and into pigs. And he put, take it easy. Yep. I'm out, people. That's all I got for you.